Okay, so I want to build up some more cars. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to pick a few cars towards the end of the alphabet. That way it's not really clashing with the A through Z series. And we're just going to kind of soup some things up here. Maybe two, maybe three, maybe even four cars potentially. But yeah, I'm just going to flip through and find a few here. Okay, we're going to start with this Lotus 340R. Not a car I'm really familiar with, to be totally honest. I'd never heard of it until this game. But I want this to be a rally car, which means I want this to have all-wheel drive. And what do we have available for engine swaps? We get the Turbo Rally engine and the 3.2-liter inline-6, which does bump it up to 321 horsepower. Man, the weight is all to the rear. So yeah, this is obviously a mid-engine, now all-wheel drive car. But we can also bolt on turbo supercharger. Yes, both turbo and supercharger are available. But I want to keep this thing kind of low in PI, so I'm probably just gonna keep the stock engine and keep it naturally aspirated as well. So yeah, I know I said I was gonna keep this thing kind of reasonable, but yeah, it's 1,500 pounds, 356 horsepower, top of S1 class, completely naturally aspirated though. But I'm happy with that came out, and I'm happy with the Martini livery that it's got on it. So I'm gonna keep that the way it is, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick another car. I actually never did anything with the Nissan R390. It's completely stock right now. I think I want it to be kind of like the I kind of want it to be like the Ultima, or at least I want to see if it can be as good as the Ultima. So I'm going to give it all-wheel drive just like the Ultima. I'm going to fully upgrade it as much as I can just like the Ultima, etc., etc. I assume I'll be able to get this thing into X-Class, but whether or not it'll actually be better than the Ultima, we'll have to see. Interestingly enough, it cannot reach X-Class. I fully expected a car that starts at 855 PI would be able to, but it doesn't have engine swaps available or anything like that. So, yeah, it's got twin turbos. I upgraded the turbos. It's got everything I could put on it. It is 789 horsepower and weighing in at just 2,300 pounds, and it could do 1.2 Gs lateral. So, I mean, it's probably a hell of a car. Don't get me wrong, but I doubt it's going to be any sort of competition for the Ultima. I've also given it gold rims, but I want those to be, like, proper gold. So I am going to change those to the same kind of shiny gold that the car is, because I want that to match, actually, on this one. I want it to be the exact same type of color. Gold. Boom. Look at that. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I like that. That is a nice looking car. Just look at that thing. I mean, that thing's bananas. So let's pick another car though. Like I said, I want to do at least one more, maybe even two more. Let's do this GT86. I want this to be, I'm thinking maybe a B-class car, potentially. Maybe A-class. B or A-class car. I'm going to keep it rear-wheel drive, though. We're not going to mess around with the drivetrain on this one. I want something that's, you know, going to be fun and sporty without being too powerful. Oh, no, 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 no. Shame on you. Shame on you, Rocket Bunny. All right, we're going to put the body kit on. I think it was mainly the rims that really turned me off. Took some fiddling with the PI, but I think I've got something I like. 2,700 pounds, 275 horsepower. So that's about 10 pounds per horsepower. Top of A-Class, 800 PI. It's got the wide body kit on it. It's got the racing tires on it, but it doesn't have the widest possible tires at the rear. I think you could get 305s, but I ended up getting 285s instead at the rear. But still, I think this thing should have enough horsepower to be fun. Okay, so we're last car that I'm gonna mess around with is gonna be this TVR, the Sagaris. Yeah, Sagaris. I am not going to change that paint. I'm gonna leave that stock paint because I really like that pearlescent paint that they've done. The TVR is notorious for being very hard to control, so we're gonna give this thing all-wheel drive definitely. I am not going to mess around with an engine swap or with turbocharging or supercharging just yet. I'm going to start with the handling stuff and then see where we go from there. The Sagaris we have taken to the top of S1 class. It's now 517 horsepower, so it's 111 more horsepower than it was before, and it's actually 150 pounds heavier. I opted not to get the weight reduction on the Sagaris because it weighs so little already, and I feel like it would just be that much harder to control. You know, like my Caterham R500 Superlight that I've got is incredibly hard to control because it weighs practically nothing. So yeah, I'm gonna skip that part. I decided on power instead of weight reduction. Not something I would normally do, but I'm hoping that will make the car a little bit more stable, because it'll have more weight pushing down on the wheels.